Welcome to Comics in the Making. My name is Ryan Holgerson. I'm the creator of Slackmatic, and I'm joined, as always, by Levi Erickson, the creator of The Big. Levi, how you doing?
Hey, here's to our first year.
Yeah, yeah. Here, let me get my gas
Get
station coffee.
your coffee.
There,
All
yeah.
right. Because
So,
it's coffee. It's technically morning, so it's coffee.
yeah, it seems uh it's weird. I'm in this it both seems like a year has just flown by, and then at the same time it feels like we've been doing this for way longer. And I don't know, I don't know how it feels for you or whatever, but I gotta say, I'll just say this right off at the top, doing this show with you week in and week out for the most part, we miss every once in a while. But it's just become a anchor in my week now
Yeah.
that if we don't do it, I feel off,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
it's been a pleasure doing it uh for this past year, and hopefully way off into the future as well. So
Oh, absolutely. And it was funny because my band had a gig on July 4th, and I'm behind the merch booth, and I'm just kind of waiting between bands or whatever, scrolling through, looking at our stats. Of course, I'm there with the band. What am I worried about? I'm worried about the channel, you know. And so I'm like,
yeah.
I'm looking at the stats and whatever. And for some reason, I just scroll on through, and the episode I called it episode 0. That's where you came in as co-host. Was posted July 4th, 2023. So I was like, oh gosh, did a screen cap, sent it to you. I think I posted it to Instagram. And that's the official 1 year. I'd done a handful of episodes prior to, maybe going back as far as even late April of 2023, but this channel didn't really come to be until then. So we can officially say we're a year in, and we are, I'll give you the count. How many videos have we done to the channel itself? And I'm trying to like actually get that.
12.
Yeah,
We've done 12.
yeah, I'm trying to find where it just has like the quick easy number. Um, and I'm not going to find that real quick. So, oh, 137 videos.
That's crazy.
137 videos, and only um yeah, only stick with me here, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 videos. So that's 129 we've done together, not including the interview that preceded you joining the channel.
Yeah.
So do you remember how that came to be, Ryan?
um yeah, kind of. I remember, uh I feel like you just messaged me and were like, "Hey, I'm doing this, doing this YouTube show, and I'm wanting to have people on. I want to have you on." And I was like, "Yeah, no, I mean that sounds fun." I had actually never, I mean, I'd never done a YouTube interview or podcast or anything. I've always loved them, and so it was like, "Oh, cool. Yeah, no, that that seems like it'd be fun." And yeah, so I remember that. And then after we did it, because the thing was, I mean, if you watch that interview, I talked about my work and stuff like that a little bit, but really what we were talking about was your experience at like Heroes Con, like a week or two before that or whatever, and it was really me kind of poo-pooing comic conventions, I think, if I remember right. And I'm still doing that to this day. See my latest comic that I just released a few days
Oh.
ago, Artist Alley of the Damned. Um,
It is the
so
best. It is the best
yeah,
strip.
so I thanks. But I remember us, doing that. And I mean, what's funny is I feel like it was almost like you calling me afterwards or something like that and going, hey, that was a lot of fun. We should do it again. And I was like, sure. And then maybe it was like a day later or something. You messaged me and were like, do you just want to do this all the time or something? And I was like, sure. I don't know. Like, I know we kind of talked about it, but it seemed also just really organic. It wasn't like, hey, we're gonna, I don't know. It just, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you remember it different, but I just remember it being really, really organic and really just trying to be, uh, our whole thing was like it's an extension of the conversations we would have on the phone anyway.
Yeah,
And I think that was kind of it because it was like we do the show, but whenever we would talk on the phone, we talk for like 2 or 3 hours or something like that. And
that's how it played out. We so I approached you. So we knew each other years before in our
yeah,
in our bands. And then 2015, I was wanting to table at Heroes Con, and you said, I'll do it. And we got along
yeah.
super great. And then from there, we were just knowing each other from Facebook. I don't think we were in the same room or even, really spoke. Um, and then, after that,
Yeah.
and I did a few episodes. I backed the and Out Come the Comics by, Paul City Comics, and Brandon came on the show, and I thought, oh, I want to get somebody else do more of that. You're the first person I thought of, so you're like, yeah, I'll do it. So I called you up and we talked seriously for like 3 hours. First time actually talking to each other since that convention, I believe.
No, I actually, uh, we did Library Con the year
That's it.
before.
You're right. You're right.
So actually,
That changes the whole.
if
That changes the whole
well, see, that's the
canon.
thing is, I think that Library Con more than anything was the germ
That was
that
it.
really started this because we were it was the first year they that we both did it
Yep.
in Rock Hill, and they had asked us to do a panel
That's it.
talking about comics and stuff like that. And I do remember, we had I think a couple 2-hour phone uh uh conversations leading up to that where we were kind of just like, oh, what are we going to talk about? And I don't honestly, I think we just ended up talking about like I don't image comics and bands and stuff like that, to the point where we got to the panel for Library Con, and we were still like, man, let's just wing it, and we and we did, and it went real. I thought it went really well. We
Yeah, it
didn't
was fun.
sound like bumbling idiots up there or anything. Um, and but I remember when we were doing that a couple times, we were like, man, we should do a podcast or something like
Okay.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was a whole year before
That was 2022.
this. Yeah, that was a whole year before this even happened. So it was kind of like, uh, we talked about it, and then we just never, it just didn't happen.
Right.
And well, and I got that was right before I had gotten a new job, which took up like all of my time. And I think we were just we were just both so busy uh in our lives that it just, just never came together
Yeah.
uh until a year later when it did. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can't believe I forgot that whole component, but
well, I did until just now, so
we have to change the lore. We have to go into the origin story episode, and we're gonna have to change the canon.
yeah, I retcon.
Put
Actually, everything I just said, I just made up. It was completely retcon. That was all Ryan fan fiction for the lore of comics in the making.
yeah, yeah. But we did talk, and all right. So we didn't talk, from then until I called you to pregame or to talk about being on the show, and that was a 2 3 hour conversation. We shot the show. It's a matter of public record. You can go see that. It's the ninth episode of Comics in the Making. It's called episode 0. Uh, Everything is changing, or this changes everything. That's where you come on, and it's been this ever since then. And I remember, well, I'm going back to your interview episode, right? Maybe I'm thinking the interview episode where we pre-gamed that one and
Yeah,
did the interview, and then I called you back and said, "Okay, so you're co-host now. You know that, right?" And you're like, "Yeah, okay."
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And I think we kind of knew that going in a little bit, that that was the route we were going to take, and it's all the better for it, without a doubt.
yeah. No, and the other, I'm uh reflecting on this past year. uh every once in a while I'll go back and listen to our past episodes and stuff like that. And which through a the lens of a comic artist, comic writer, um I would encourage you guys to like go back to your older work and read it every once in a while, because once you get removed from it by maybe 2 or 3 years or something like that, you're able to appreciate it as a reader. You're almost separated from, oh, this is something I did, and really look at it with the eyes of someone just picking up your book and kind of go, was this good or not?
Mhm.
And there are times when I've done that, when I've read my older stuff, where I'll laugh at the joke I wrote, and I'll go, oh, that must have been a pretty good joke that guy wrote. It's almost like devoid. And I'm saying this because there are times where I'll listen to our episodes and I'll laugh because I'll forget something you said or something I said where we're making a joke or something like that. And that's when I'm like, oh wow, we were pretty funny. We did something pretty good or whatever. And but if going back to some of those early episodes, and maybe I'm still too close to it, there are times where I cringe. And I remember, we did a few episodes where they were like, hour and a half long, like we were cutting videos together and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And it was before we realized, oh, you know what? This 40-minute uh time crunch that we have, all because of Zoom, and we're too cheap to pay for the pro version of Zoom.
No, cheap's the wrong
That
word. Cheap's the wrong word, man.
No,
It
it's not. I don't.
We would do it if we could.
uh, um, but but that's actually become kind of the perfect way to rein us in and go, hey, we've got this amount of time. And so when I look back at some of those episodes where we were piecing these 40 minutes together to make longer episodes, I'm like, yeah, that's too long. and I think that's so what I'm trying to say. I can see how much we've grown doing this show in a year. I still think we have a long way to go, um, but we've we've gotten better um, doing this over the year. We've
Yeah,
kind of refined it and stuff like that. Um,
yeah,
um,
and we've gotten better.
and yeah, well, and also, the viewers out there don't know this. We have probably 5 or 6 episodes of material we never released
Yeah,
because we've also, I think we've gotten self-aware enough to where when we do something, uh, if one of us, and it's usually both of us. I actually can't think of a time where one of us thought something was good and one of us thought something was bad. We usually come together pretty quickly and go, I don't think we should release that for
yeah,
whatever reason.
yeah.
Either we weren't.
You want to talk about cringe? Some of those videos, you
Oh
know.
God, yeah, yeah. No, they're not good. And I can't remember. The thing is, I think some of them we eventually reshot. Um,
Yeah, few.
anyway, and it was kind of watching those. I can't remember. I can't remember which one, but I remember there was one that we didn't release, and I was rewatching it, and it wasn't until 20 minutes in that I was like, "Oh, that's the show." And I remember coming back to you and saying,
Yeah.
"We need to reshoot it, but start at that 20-minute mark where we really hit our stride." And we ended up doing that. And I think it came out well. I can't remember what episode that was or not, or we
And then
might have even mentioned it. So
we've shot at least one episode, and we're on the cusp of dropping it, and then current events made it completely irrelevant. You know.
yeah,
So I mean that's happened.
yeah,
Um.
yeah.
So
Because we're generally about a week behind, or 3 or 4 days behind
yeah.
when we release an episode.
Right. Right. Right.
So
So this one will be dropping about a week after the actual 1 year birthday anniversary of this show, when it will actually be released, being July 4th. And there was no intention behind that. That's just the way it came together. So,
yeah.
but we've had some good shows. Well, I mean, I think we've had a lot of good shows, and some have performed extremely well. If you look at, we're small, we're growing, we're in our first year. I think we're pretty typical for a first year YouTube channel. Um, on any topic, comics is a very niche topic. And we're approaching it. We're not talking about your comic book collection and what comics to get to enhance your collection. We're not talking about, current events in comics or what, the big creators are doing right now, what are the moves going on behind the publishers. We're talking about what our experience is as independent self-published creators, creator owned, uh, people who own their creations, make their stuff. So that narrows the audience down even more, right?
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so, but that's what I have a voice for. That's what I have to speak about. Um, I've never been an inside baseball person. I couldn't tell you the comings and goings of the comic book industry in the sense of who's doing what and what moves are, the publishers making. Uh, Things hit my radar. Oftentimes you bring them up and gets me looking into it. But I've never been an inside baseball person for anything that I've been interested in. I mean, to my detriment, but at the same time, I want to enjoy things as they come to me. So
No, well, I don't know.
that
You
narrows our
say to your
audience
debt,
down.
you know, well, yeah, for sure. We're a niche of a niche. Um, and I think we're fully aware of that. But when you say to your detriment that you don't keep us up to date with, what's going on in comics and stuff like that. And here's the thing, I'm not I don't think I'm scrolling through to stay on top of everything that's going on in comics because I don't. But I'll be honest, I wish I was less aware of a lot of the stuff going on. There's a lot of times where I just I wish I was just in a bubble in my room creating comics and sending them out, but I still find myself, scrolling on Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that, and finding stuff. But you know what? We do a YouTube show, so I
Yeah.
get I do find a lot of stuff to talk about. We've had a lot of episodes really just based on comments that I've seen on Facebook or
Yeah.
whatever. Somebody said something and I go, "Hey, let's talk about this. Um, what are your thoughts?" So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
But, so we have a narrow audience, and I think the channel in general, considering what our subscriber count and the engagement that we get, is sort of the same ratio as bigger channels that tackle different topics, with a sub count of whatever. But when you go through the individual videos, they're the ratio of subs to engagement, I think is pretty much follows with where ours is, you know, at the moment. So I'm happy about that. When you think about it and you have a handful of people who dig your stuff, then cool, keep doing it. I was thinking about that last night, I mean, doing my comics and doing pretty well. I had a pretty good weekend as far as the Etsy store goes and whatnot. And that got me to thinking, it's like, we've talked about this, or we've walked around the topic a little bit, when do you when do you know to keep doing it, or when to call it off? Well, the easy answer is if you want to do it, just do it. Who cares? Right? Um, and if you feel like, having some comics printed, you can have as little as 25 printed by any of the good going printers. And for that amount of money, you could waste that driving around town for a weekend, you know. Um, so there's no harm in just doing it and continuing to do it. Um, so I think our channel is just growing, continuing to grow, and the momentum's gaining. We've had a pretty good month as far as new subscribers coming in, and yeah, it just makes me continue to feel really, really good about being able to connect with people. And I think a lot of our audience are independent artists, self-published, create our own people who are also feeling the pressures of the daily grind and trying to find their way to navigate that. And that's what this channel is really all about. And
yeah,
the effort that we've put into um, sort of voicing that uh, alongside of creating our own comics. And we're not the only ones doing it, but we're one of the few, I think, doing it right now.
yeah. Well, nothing. I mean, we don't we don't do this for any sort of financial gain whatsoever. This is all for fun, because we want to do it. And so our payment for me, the payment I get is when we get a comment
Yeah.
saying, "Wow, I really liked that episode. I liked what you said about this." Or even, starting a discussion uh about whatever we're talking about. I mean, there have been times where we've gotten comments where I wouldn't say it's changed my mind, but or things that have gotten me thinking about something in a different way. And that's for me, that's why we do the show,
Mm.
um is to get to hear from people. I also want to say, like, we also know that there are people that subscribe to the channel, watch the show, that aren't uh indie comic artists and publishers and stuff like that. Maybe they're creative in another way, and that's why they watch it and stuff like that. But sometimes people just like listening to two old guys that can't Google how to say Kara. Sometimes they just like to listen to them, you know.
Thought it was aura. Silent.
Ara,
See silent,
Era,
right?
Kara, Kara, Sarah.
All the above.
Yeah, you know.
How do you know Google's right?
How do you even are we even saying Google right? I don't even know. I don't even know if we're saying that right.
Maybe it's
What
like
is a Google?
maybe it's
I'm st
because
I'm
there's
still I'm still using Ask Jeeves. I don't even know.
what was that little paperclip guy? What was, what was the paperclip thing?
I
And
don't know.
why was the paperclip thing?
I don't know. But guys, check out our new website. It's on GeoCities. Uh send us emails at comicsinthemaking at AOL.com. We'll get right back to you.
Oh yeah. 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 Just just close the ads out as they pop up.
Yeah. But I I don't remember what the subscriber count was at when I jumped on when we started. I want to say it was in the lower double digits. Am I right? You
Probably 12.
remember?
Probably
Yeah,
12.
no, it was, but
Yeah.
I think we had only been doing it for like 2 or 3 weeks before uh we were trying to get to 75 and trying to get to
Or
100 and
50,
stuff
hitting
like that.
50.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Hitting
Um,
100. We did an episode like, hit 100. Thanks,
yeah.
and now we're healthily past 200.
Well, and I don't think I remember when we passed 100 and we did that episode, talking about, hey, we're past 100 or whatever. That was this year, I
Yeah.
think, you know. And now we are at as of this recording,
Yeah.
we're at 213. So we had already doubled that in a short amount of time.
Yep.
So it's great bringing on more people. I can't wait to see where the channel goes, because that's the thing, we're always uh uh doing some little different things, I do some solo vids where I talk about my comics and stuff like that. That was something that when we started, I never I never thought of doing that stuff. And it wasn't until we started doing this that I was like, well, I guess I could do some of that.
Yeah.
Um, you've done some of that. We did a studio tour here at my house. We're going to do a studio tour at your house eventually.
Yep.
We have some other ideas for other videos. We want to start bringing guests on. And I think we're going to look at it. We're going to shoot this video a year from now, doing our second anniversary, and I'm looking forward to see how we have changed and grown as a channel. What are the new things that we're gonna
Yeah.
do and try. And that's just like our comics that we do. uh we enjoy doing new stuff and
Oh
and
yeah.
seeing what sticks. Maybe Levi will do another Heroes Con haul without the sound on. I don't know.
Dude, the sound is on that. It's quiet, I get it, but the sound is on. It is, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know how old you are, but there is sound.
Hey, that video's at like over 100 views.
It shot to 100 views.
I know, and I watched it. Okay.
Was there sound?
I'm gonna give you guys a secret hack into how to watch Levi's video. On my TV, there's a knob, and it's a volume knob. I didn't know about this before either, but when I started watching it, I was like, this is really fucking quiet. And then I was like, hey, there's a volume knob on here, and I started turning it up, and then I could hear him. Now you got to be ready though, because when he starts getting to the end, if you don't turn that volume knob back down, you're gonna get scared because it's going to be loud. As soon as that first YouTube commercial comes on, it's going to be like, buy a Hyundai. It's going to be so loud. So you got to be ready for it. But that's a secret hack. Just turn the volume up a little bit. But I thought I'm giving you shit, but I thought it was a great video. That's what I did. I turned it up and then I turned it back down once you started talking. But
I
it was a
I
great
used a
video.
different platform to record it. I didn't have the feedback, so I didn't hear where it was. And so if I make another video using that process, I will address the volume. I will adjust the volume so you at home don't have to. That's a guarantee. Actually, I
In
can't
all
guarantee
fairness,
that. I can't guarantee
yeah, you know what though? I know I've done videos, uh, like some of the solo vids where I realized that the intro was coming in like way too loud. And no one's commented on it, but I noticed it. And so now when I'm doing my solo videos, I know like in the production part when I'm editing, I got to drop that volume down a little bit and stuff like that.
I do that every time I edit the main videos.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, Levi, it's been a great year.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait to see what's in store for us for the next year.
Yeah.
Um, this is it's been a blast for the most part. A few kind of gut punches
Yeah.
for sure this year. But you know what? And hey, you know what? I'm gonna say this. So with the gut punches that we've had, man, I'm so glad that I have you um to be able to talk to because I don't have anybody else like in my personal life that's not that I can't talk to my wife and my
Yeah.
daughter and stuff like that, but they're not a part of this world. And
Yeah.
being able to have you where I can pick up the phone and call you and we can talk about this stuff and it's
Right.
been such a joy. So I
100%. And
thank you.
just last Wednesday night, yeah, my band's gig. I, that show, there was new bands. There was, our band, Southside Punks, their legacy band in this town. So it
Yeah.
brought out some of the old heads, younger people, good mix of a crowd for a hardcore show. And I was talking with somebody that I've known through the years, and they also know about the comics. This person has crossover with being a fan of the band and the comic stuff that I'm doing. And so we're, kind of talking about that, talking about the show, this show. And I said, look, there's something different about that because I spend on a typical week about 6 hours talking to Ryan on and off camera. We'll do our pregame phone call, we'll film for however long we film for, and then we'll do a wrap up, and that just kind of has we're talking about, the episode, and we're talking about the show for the first little bit, and then depending on our mood, we will just keep talking for another hour and a half, just BSing. And one of us finally goes, "Oh my God, let's see how long it's been." Um, I don't talk to my band members like that. No shade, nothing wrong. Not mad, there's no animosity there. But I've been in a band with these people for 12 years. We've talked about almost everything we have to talk about. But with you, there's always something new to talk about. There's always something that we can share on this level that is just different. And I 100% appreciate it. And I'm so glad that you came in to make the show what it is, because it wouldn't be the same without you. Talking about pivotal members.
Hey, hey, we
Hey,
brought it back to a
yeah, we
conversation
did.
you guys don't even know about.
Sneak attack.
That's how meta we are. But Levi, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm so glad you brought me on.
Come on.
And this has been a blast. And I know I already said it, but I really I can't wait to see what we do. And doing the conventions together this year. We've done, what have we done? Two or three together this year. Something like
Yep,
that.
three.
But yeah, but having the banner, having the comics in the making banner there,
Yep.
um, it's been great, and uh yeah, no, I just it's been great. It's been a great time, guys. It's been great.
Oh yeah.
That's all I've got. That's all I've got.
Cool. Well, that's a
You
perfect
know,
place to wrap this one. And we would not let you go without telling you what time it is. Get it
just do
right.
the damn thing. You know what? Hey, we didn't even talk about the whole just do the damn thing. I don't we've only got 2 minutes left, but do you remember who said just do the damn thing first? Was that you or was
I
that
have
me?
I have no idea. If you're an
Somebody go
OG,
back
if
and
you're
one
an
of the
OG, you tell
yeah,
us in the comments.
we don't remember. In one of the early episodes, one of us said just do the damn thing. And that has, become our little sign off thing, because at the end of the day, we're creators and we both believe that for you to get better, for you to get more skilled at the craft of whatever you're creating, first you have to do it. You have to just do the damn thing. And after we had said that, whoever said it the first time, we realized, hey, that's it. And so anyway, leave a comment, go back and rewatch all of this year's videos to
Yeah.
find out who said it first.
All 213 of you go. You need to go back and watch every video we have.
Yeah.
Juice the Algor rhythm. And yeah, three separate words: Algor rhythm.
Well, he did create the internet.
And that's why
So
it's so important
he's
to keep
he
him
is
happy.
yeah. Well, you have to keep him happy. Have you ever seen an angry Al Gore? You don't want to. You don't want to see that. All right, just go
No,
do
no,
the damn thing.
no.